Hello and welcome to the 45th Annual Sun and Fun International Fly-In and Expo. I'm Ron Timmermans, one of your hosts with the Florida Aviation Network, and I wanted to welcome you to our events here at the Fly-In and Expo at Lakeland Linder Regional Airport in Lakeland, Florida. We have had a tremendous week so far. This is day 2 of the air show and Fly-In and Expo, and we've had a great number of folks that have come through the Florida Aviation Network booth here and been interviewed, and we've learned a lot about their roles in aviation, their inspiration for aviation. I have another such person with me today, Ms. Terry Carbonell with the 99s organization, one of the international directors of the 99s organization. Terry, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here back again, so that's good, that's good. So you've been a pilot, I think you said, for some 14, 15 years? 14
years as a pilot, started when I was 44 years old.
Very good.
You can do the math and you know how old I am, which is fine.
Nobody knows how to do that kind of math anymore. If it doesn't work on an iPad or a calculator, no one's going to do it.
For functioning, right.
Exactly, exactly. So good. So in the 14 years or so that you've been flying, how many hours have you amassed?
About 3,200 hours.
Wow.
I do a lot of flying. I started out around 300 hours a year flying. Lately, I've only been about 200 hours a year. Most of it is, it's anytime you're in an airplane, it's for fun. So whether you're working or not working, it's still for fun.
It's always fun.
But a lot of it is personal flying. I'd been flying for the Florida Keys Mosquito Control. Got to legally buzz everybody at 100 feet AGL.
Wow.
Unfortunately,
legally buzz everybody.
Okay. Legally buzz everybody. But they're moving to all helicopters now, so I'm kind of out of a job. But it was fun while it lasted.
I'll bet. So speaking of the Florida Keys, I understand that you live in an air park, and your taxi and takeoff is very minimal, I understand.
Pretty much. I open the door, taxi out, 50 feet. Turn right, take off, and I can be wherever my magic carpet wants to take me. So
exactly. Do you do the run up in the hangar or after you get out of the hangar?
No, I do it along the runway. There's some people who taxi out with their door open, do the run up with the door open, but
not a good idea.
Not a good idea. No.
And you're flying a Cessna 182 RG.
182 RG.
That's great. How long have you had that airplane?
14 years.
Oh, you've had it ever since you started?
I trained in a 172. And I had the 90 hours, and I bought the 182 RG. My husband, who's now deceased, he was dying of Alzheimer's. He wanted me to get my pilot's license so he could spend whatever time he had left in an airplane.
Oh, how wonderful.
So once I got my license, he wanted to travel. And the 172, for the type of traveling we did, I just didn't think it was fast enough. So I got a faster airplane, and we traveled all over the United States, Mexico, and the Bahamas for 3 years before he passed away.
Wow.
So 1,000 hours in 3 years. That was why I was traveling so much and flying.
Well, what a great memories you must have then of
Fabulous.
Flying in the last few years.
I always said his dying wish was a gift that he left for me to share with others.
Wow.
So it's really
probably planned as well.
Yes.
That's great. Well, I'm
so
glad.
He lives as long as I fly.
That's good. That's good. And I'm sure you got memories that you cherish for many years to come. Well, that's great. So when did you get involved with the 99s?
99's about 2007.
Okay.
I was surfing the internet, and I saw this really interesting looking thing called the Air Race Classic, which is the airplane noise. We love it.
Yeah.
The all-women's cross-country air race. And I know that I saw that a lot of the 99s volunteered, and I thought, gee, what's a 99? I should find out about this 99s thing. So I joined the 99s. I thought you had to be a member to fly the race. You didn't, but I joined the 99s in 2007, and it's been a great organization.
Great. Did you fly the race?
I flew the race every year until last year when I had shoulder surgery and couldn't fly. Won the race in 2010 with my team, and quite a few other top 10 finishes. So
the race that you flew and won in 2010, from where to where?
Started in Fort Myers, and we ended up in Frederick, Maryland.
Oh, okay. It went south to north this time.
Well, kind of went out to the west and then looped back around and came in. So we have some oddball routes with the air racing.
Yeah, but always different, aren't they?
Different every single year. This year, I think it starts in Union City, Tennessee, or Jackson, Tennessee, and ends up in Canada. I forget where in Canada, but
very so international.
As I said, I'm not going to make it this year.
Not this year, but maybe you'll be polished up for the following year.
Yeah, once shoulder gets better.
Yeah, well, I'm certainly hoping that you'll recover, continue to recover.
So far, so good.
So tell us a little bit about the 99s. I know many people have heard about them, but I'm sure there's some insights into the organization of the 99s that you can share with us. So please tell us.
Sure. Up until a couple years ago, the 99s was one of the best kept secrets in aviation. We are actually celebrating our 90th anniversary this year.
90th anniversary.
We were founded in 1929. It's that upper math thing again, in Long Island, New York. 99 of the 117 certificated women pilots at that time came together, decided the need for camaraderie, to support one another, mentoring. And the 99s was actually born out of the all-women's air derby, the Powder Puff Derby, which is the air race classic today. So there's still a great connection between the two organizations.
So it was the attendance at that first meeting that generated the name 99s.
Correct. I can't say it was very descriptive other than the number of people who showed up to start the organization.
But yet it's an iconic name now.
It's iconic, but nobody knows what we are. You know, you see these two nines running around, and it doesn't tell us very much.
Exactly, but that's one of the reasons we're here today, to help promote the 99s.
Exactly. Well, the last couple of years, we've done a lot of marketing. We've tried to let people know who we are. We've done a lot more with social media, like everybody's doing more with social media, and we've been able to grow our membership almost 19% in 2 years.
Wow.
So the word is getting out. We have lots of good member benefits. Probably one of the best benefits that comes from the 99 is the camaraderie, lifelong friendships. When my husband passed away, the 99s were there. You know, they were the ones that encouraged me to, come on, get up, you can do this, let's go flying, and really get me out and get me back into the world. We're going to be your best friends and cheer you on when you're learning to fly and when you're accomplishing things, and we're going to kick you in the butt when you try to stop.
Okay.
So
they're like lift sisters, huh?
We're all, yes, and sisters it is. I have about 6,000 sisters, so a grand extended family all over the world.
Indeed, that's wonderful, and it is an international organization.
Yes.
I remember you said your title was that of an international director.
International director, yes.
The organization is not nationwide, but international.
We're in 44 countries. We have sections all over the world. The United States is divided into sections. Don't remember exactly how many, but they're geographic sections. We're in the southeast section here. Each, we have the international president and the directors. Each section has governors and the board, and then each section is divided into chapters. And the chapters is where all the fun stuff happens. Locally getting involved. Okay. We do the Compass Roses. We just did a Compass Rose here at Lakeland. It's near it's just off of Clubhouse Row, near the Southern Hospitality Restaurant, I think it's called, and it points the way, of course, to the 99's Clubhouse. So
very good, very good.
That one's not for navigation, though.
Okay, but it's just for decoration.
For decoration, and again, getting our name out.
So this is one of the signature marks then of 99's clubs, organizations in several places. They put Compass Roses at airports to help pilots orient and make sure their compass is true.
Yes, that's for swinging the compass, exactly. Yes, and they'll have the survey date there, but anytime you see a Compass Rose, you can just about guarantee it's been painted by some of our volunteers.
Do you put a mark on that says painted by such and such chapter of the 99s?
Some of them do. A lot of them put the chapter down there, put the date that it was painted, but certainly the logo is on every single Compass Rose.
Because I've looked at many Compass Roses and sat on top of them, of course, many times, and I knew it was something that often done by the 99s, but I didn't know where to look for the logo and the recognition of the local chapter. But
yeah.
So we got a lot of 99s to thank when we were sitting on a Compass Rose and swinging our compass, or assuring that everything points north, south, east, or west, or whatever cardinal heading we might be headed. So that's great. That's great. So that's one of the things that 99s do, and then obviously the sisterhood, bonding, and encouragement. of fellow 99s. What other things do you get involved with at a local chapter?
Well, we started a new program about a year ago. It's called Let's Fly Now, and Let's Fly Now is going to be one of our signature first-time flyer programs. It's similar in some respects to the EAA's Young Eagles in that we fly people for the first time, but where we differ is since we're a female pilots organization, we're focusing on females of flying age. So
females of flying age.
For first time flights. So 13 to as long as you can breathe and manipulate the controls, we're interested in flying you. So we really do try to get the females interested. We have a lot of female pilots that, of course, fly the females, but we also fly other children, men, boys, teenagers. We'll fly anybody. I mean, we all in the aviation, we're a community. We're an aviation community.
Indeed.
And as a community, we have to grow our community together. So we'd like to see a lot more female pilots, but we certainly have no objection to the males joining the ranks as well.
Okay, good.
And we have a companion organization called Friends of the 99s. 99s are all women pilots. So if you're not a female pilot, by definition, you can't be a 99. But our Friends of the 99s is a 501c3 supporting organization. And these are our men, our 49 and a halfs, which are our significant others, and can be corporate members, can be anybody who wants to support the 99s. We also have a lot of young girls who aren't of flying age yet, that they are Friends of the 99s. They get our magazine, they attend our chapter meetings, they come to our annual conference, and they are starting the process of aviation immersion. So
Wonderful.
It's a good thing.
Wonderful. So let me put a plug in for Friends of the 99s. Having been a former 49 and a half, my wife was a member of a 99s chapter a number of years ago, and I was dubbed the 49 and a half. If you haven't already figured that out, the math is half of 99 would be 49 and a half, so a cute name. But now they're kind of all rolled into the Friends of the 99s, which
Sure.
include the male special significant others or husbands,
Sure.
as well as young adults that are interested in aviation and the like, so that's great. So the Let's Fly Now program, the first flight for targeted primarily at potential female pilots, but also open to male and younger people as well. I know it's a fairly new program, but do you have any statistics on the success rate? How many have you flown so far? Have any of them gone on to become pilots yet?
We've, I know a couple have gone on to become pilots because they've actually signed up right then and there for their student pilot certificate, and they've signed up for flight training literally right at the event.
How fulfilling is that?
Well, it's pretty exciting. We try to have, I'm a flight instructor as well, but I'm usually up in the air, but we try to have a local flight school involved in each Let's Fly Now event, and we have some local pilots or local flight instructors, and we actually will, while people are enthusiastic, we get them in there and get them signed up and get their first official flight lesson underway. So
good. Get them while they're hot, so to speak.
Well, you have to. The whole thing with that, with aviation, with anything in general, when you're enthusiastic about something, catch the flame while it's burning.
Exactly.
Don't
and
let
stoke it.
Yeah, stoke it. Really, let's get everybody excited. This is what Sun and Fun's about, isn't it?
Indeed.
I mean, it's taking our desires and our love of aviation, and it's just building it even stronger.
Raising it to a new level, much more intense. So among other things that I've had the pleasure of doing, Terry, is I teach as a contract instructor for AOPA on their Rusty Pilots program. And so this whole program was designed to bring pilots back into aviation who were once pilots and for whatever reason, career, family, or money, or illness, or whatever, they lapsed in their currency.
Sure.
This program hopes to bring them back through a fairly intensive 3-hour ground school and then encouraging them to sign up for a flight review as to be the follow-on thing. And what I found, like you have, is while they're highly interested in something, having come to a 3-hour ground school and sat through it, that's the time to push them just over the edge and help them get signed up for a flight review. And several people do that with a flight, because normally held at a flight school, and we have flight instructors available to talk to them and sign them up. One person went to the class in the morning and signed up and did his flight review that afternoon. I'm thinking, yes.
Yes, that's what you need.
Exactly.
That's
So
what you need.
bringing in new pilots into our aviation family, bringing back pilots that were once an active member of the Aviation Society, but
Sure.
bringing them back in, those are very fulfilling things,
Absolutely.
as well as getting the brand new people like you're doing with
Absolutely.
with
But
You Can
and also
Let's Fly Now
it's all
program.
about keeping all of us safe.
Indeed.
I mean, aviation safety is of concern to everybody from, you don't even have to be a pilot to be concerned about aviation safety, but 99s are, a lot of us are in the WINGS program, a lot of us are the FAA FAST team members. We host a lot of seminars. As a matter of fact, we have our annual conference is coming up from July 16th to the 21st in Dayton, Ohio. We have some keynote speakers, but we have more than 20 aviation safety seminars in that 4-day period.
Wonderful. All with WINGS credit, I imagine?
I hope they're all. I'm not in charge of that part of the conference,
Probably.
but I'll make sure that WINGS credit's available for everything. But there's all sorts of, there's about aerobatics, first time flying, you name it, weather seminars. If you can think about it, we probably have a seminar about it.
I can imagine. So if you happen to be a 99 and
Or a
are
friend.
looking- or a friend of 99s and are thinking about a good way to spend a part of a week in July, Dayton, Ohio is a great place. They got a tremendous convention that they'll be conducting there at Dayton, and before or after the convention, there's also the Air Force Museum at Dayton, Ohio, at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Another superb place to go and visit.
And we have some events actually scheduled at the museum. We have, I think it's Jeff Duford, who did the restoration or spearheaded the restoration on the Memphis Belle.
Wow.
He's going to be one of our keynote speakers. We have an event under the wing of the Memphis Belle with Mr. Duford speaking. We also have, speaking of aviation safety, we have Greg Fife, who I'm a Weather Channel junkie, I have to
Are you?
admit it. And one of my favorite shows on the Weather Channel is Why Planes Crash. And it's not to be morbid, but we learn from the mistakes of
We do.
others. And I think Greg Fife is one of the moderators or the narrators on Why Planes Crash. He's going to come be one of our keynote speakers talking about aviation safety. So I'm personally, I'm all excited to hear him speak live.
I can imagine. Yeah, you see him on the Weather Channel, Why Planes Crash, and now you get to see him in person.
Absolutely.
That'll be great.
So-
You'll probably ask him a few questions.
Oh, you
I know-
betcha.
I know when I look at videos about airplanes crashing and the analysis, or read a magazine article about I'll never do that again or whatever, and my first thought often is, oh my goodness, how foolish has that pilot been? And then I look at their statistics and see that they've got way more hours than I do, or much more experience in various airplanes than I do, and I'm humbled and I'm thinking, it could happen to me. No matter how good a pilot I think I am,
Absolutely.
I need to understand and recognize that I'm not that good that I will not ever have an accident. I'm always prone or possible that I can have an accident.
I have a couple of things. We talk about the Swiss cheese model, that things have to line up. I have a personal 3-strike rule. If maybe the weather is bad and I'm tired and just unfamiliar route, maybe it's time to drive. Or, you get that get-home-itis. Get-home-itis sometimes counts for 2. Because that's
2 out of the 3.
2 out of the 3,
Yeah.
because that can be the last time I came home from Oshkosh, I got caught behind that weather front, and I was 3 or 4 days trying to get home, and I couldn't pass the weather, and I was in Auburn, Georgia, and I finally said, I'm done. I want to go home. I'm tired of flying. I can't cross this weather. I'm just done. I parked the airplane, rented a car, and flew home. And as it turned out, my boyfriend happens to be my ANPIA, girl's best friend is her mechanic.
Wow.
And he's also a pilot. And I said, I'm just really busy. You want to go up and get the plane for me? He said, sure, I'd love to go up. One of my 99's friends flew him up there. On takeoff, the plane had a total electrical failure.
Oh my goodness.
So I was really happy that I had parked the plane, because had I taken off, I would have gone into bad weather, and that last hole of the Swiss cheese was never made.
My goodness.
You have to overcome these, the temptation or the desire to get home or to please your friends, or they're very strong and powerful forces that pull us all to ignore basic safety ideas.
And can pull us into bad decisions on occasion.
Yes.
And so I'm glad you prevailed against that. So let's see, you offered your boyfriend an opportunity to go up and fly your airplane and immediately had a mechanical problem. You're still friends, I hope?
He's still my boyfriend, yes.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
he's
Still
still
your
taking care of the airplane. He did a great job fixing the plane, and kind of wasn't happy to have to do it where it was done, but that's okay.
I'm sure. Well, I'm glad everything turned out well,
yes.
Terry. That's great. And so let's see, I heard you say that this is upcoming the 90th anniversary of the 99s, and in 10 more years you'll have a real special celebration, but nonetheless this is going to be a great one. 90 years of an organization, women flyers, the 99s. Terry, it's been so good to have you here with us today. Thank you for sharing with us about your story personally and about the 99s and the programs that you're instituting and how you're supporting women in aviation, and a special pilot group, a very succinct part of our pilot population. So along with Terry, I wish you well for the rest of your activities here at Sun and Fun, and if you're not here, we wish you were. All of your friends are here, so you should consider coming to Lakeland to Sun and Fun. So I am Ron Timmermans. I am with the Florida Aviation Network, one of our hosts, and it's been my pleasure to host you here, broadcasting live and in the clear from Lakeland, Florida. We'll look forward to seeing you at another of our events.